Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and it's time for WandaVision, Season 1, Episode 6, all new Halloween Spooktacular. Welcome, everybody. Let me take care of some business first. And yes, you can hear the trickling water in the background. I forgot to unplug the trickling water. Uh, Pepper has a water bowl that actually just does recirculating water. So I forgot to unplug that. So you can enjoy the lucid sounds of water in the background tinkling. I just realized that as I put on the headphones there, and I'm like, shit, I forgot something. Let me take care of some business first, and we'll get down to it. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. Basically, what YouTube does, takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos in my vast video library and pops it up there just for you. Also, if you want to know when I'm be on live again next, you hit the bell down below. It's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule that's up there. I change it out every week, and I did change it out this week. I had to remember there. Also, I have all the links to my social media, so Twitter, Instagram, Patreon. No tier saved on the Patreon, but very, very close. We're 26 subscribers away from hitting 1,000 subscribers. And then when that happens, I'm going to start setting up tiers on Patreon, and that way you guys can get stuff for the money that you give me. All right. And also I have links to this YouTube channel, my Facebook page, and a Facebook group page where you guys can post stuff and chat amongst yourselves. There we go. Spoiler alert, I am going to spoil the episode. If you have not seen the episode, go and watch the episode. Come on back. This will be a video. You can comment down below in the comment section. All right. Yeah. And you notice there's a little spoiler alert sign right above my head here too. That's always constant, always vigil right there. Yes. Yes, exactly, Pen. So close to 1,000 subscribers. So close. So, this episode was the Halloween episode, and I love their spoofing Malcolm in the Middle. So they skipped over the 90s. They went straight to 2000. Mainly, I think they wanted to get away from really the big family sitcom in the 90s was Full House, which of course stars Elizabeth Olsen's siblings in it, Mary Kay and Ashley. And I'm fairly sure they kind of wanted to skip over that a little bit. And so they went straight to the Malcolm in the Middle thing, which they did well. They did a good spoofing of it. And they even did the opening style of the opening of Malcolm in the Middle, which was kind of chaotic and video driven and stuff like that. And they did a good job of that. So this Halloween episode, of course, sees everyone dressed in their superhero costumes. Scarlet Witch is in her comic book costume. Vision is in his. I mean, sure, they're like homemade versions of these comic book costumes, but yes, you did see all of them. Even Pietro, Quicksilver, is in his costume, and I know he started off in the green costume in the comics, but he did move over to the blue, so the blue and silver is actually accurate as well. There's gonna be some people that are gonna nitpick the shit out of that one, but it's there. And Vision seems to not be on board with all of this. He's not doing what Scarlet Witch wants, obviously. And we kind of find this out from Herb that Vision basically tells Wanda that he's going to go out on watch with a neighborhood watch and just make sure no one toilet papers the trees and whatnot. And really, what he's doing is he's seeing how far he can go. Outside the town limits there to see what's going on. And Wanda finds out from Herb that he is not on, the neighborhood watch at this point. And I'm kind of surprised she didn't go after him right away. That would have been something that someone in control or someone in complete control of the world they're in would have done. So that's number one for me right there, is that she didn't go after him right away. And also Herb saying, can I do anything for you? Do you want something changed? He is aware more of what's going on, that Wanda is in control of stuff, or he is working for whoever has Wanda under control. One of the two, we don't know. And I'm still, there's a lot of theories out there going on right now. And none of them are wrong, quite honestly, because we don't know what the hell's going on. I mean, we even see Agnes at one point at the town limit at Ellis Street, which she told the kids not to cross. Agnes is sitting in her car frozen. Vision sees her and he kind of wakes her up and she tells him, you were in the Avengers. Am I dead? And he goes, no, why? She goes, because you're dead. And yeah, that whole thing with Vision trying to get out of the dome and trying to warn Hayward and everyone else outside, S.w.o.r.d, that the people are suffering and they need to be helped. And of course, he's not doing anything about this. And I'll get to the people outside in S.w.o.r.d in just a little bit too. But the whole thing is Vision is going further and further out. He's seeing one woman that's repeatedly doing the same arm movement. They're kind of frozen in place. And as he's going further out from the center of town, people are just kind of frozen in place. And she's actually crying to the woman who was moving her arm there, who was hanging up the ghost kind of thing. So obviously these people are being tortured. They're in pain. What is doing this? We don't know. But there again is some clues on this too, because the Yo Magic commercial, the claymation commercial, shows a little boy on a stranded island who's starving. And the shark pops up and says, he asks the shark if he has any food, and he says, "Yeah." He goes, "I've got Yo Magic. That's what I've been snacking." He goes, "Well, I've been surviving by snacking on Yo Magic," which is just out and out saying that this, whatever the evil thing is actually feeding off of Wanda. It's feeding off of Wanda's powers, her grief, and what she's doing to these people. So is this Mephisto or is this Nightmare? We don't know. It could be either one at this point. Yeah. So that's where I'm going with that one. Also, I was reading some theories on the whole commercial thing about the kid not being able to open up the little jar of yogurt or a little cup of yogurt, and that's supposed to represent Wanda not having these powers that she has in her cup, if you will, and not being able to open them to use them fully, and is kind of starving to death at this point. And actually, the kid starves to death, um, which is just dark. It's a dark, dark show. Yeah, I'm enjoying the show too, Viking Bitch. Really, I really am. Um, you also have Pietro, who I don't know if this is actually, well, we know it's a different version of Pietro. Of course, it's the X-Men version, the X-Men movies from Fox. Pietro Quicksilver, and but he says that he quote unquote died like a chump in the street for no reason, which is bullshit, because he knows that he was actually protecting a child and Hawkeye from getting killed. That's what he died for. And yes, the kick-ass joke, I'll get to that too in a second. Which is not true. He did not die like a punk like a chump in the street for no reason. He actually had a reason for dying. And there's also something else that he says is he calls Westview charming as hell. And he kind of emphasizes hell. Charming as hell is what he says. And again, is this a reference to Mephisto? We don't know. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff there. And also her looking over at Pietro and seeing him dead with the bullet holes in him, but it's Evan Peters Pietro, of course, and not Aaron Paul. And yes, Popeye, the whole kick-ass joke too about when kick-ass, and she's like, kick-ass, And of course, Aaron Paul and Evan Peters were both in Kick-Ass, the movie Kick-Ass. Aaron Paul playing Kick-Ass himself, and then Evan Peters playing his friend. Yeah. So who in the comics, by the way, I believe ends up becoming a supervillain in his own right. So yeah, That was kind of funny. It was just kind of a funny aside. So outside the dome, we've got Hayward basically telling Wu, Rambo, and Lewis he wants them off the base because they're of no use. And he goes into almost like a villain monologue with Monica telling her, you know what, you weren't here when the blip happened. He goes, we had a fight to keep the lights on. And he goes, it's probably a good thing you weren't here because you wouldn't have been able to deal with your mother's death, kind of thing, which is excuse me, Aaron Taylor John. I said Aaron Paul. I know Aaron Paul is from Breaking Bad. Thanks, Popeye. Yeah, Aaron Taylor Johnson. Told you. Names. I didn't have it up on my list here. I was pulling that one from my head, Popeye. But thank you for correcting me on that one, because someone's going to call me out in the comments. But yeah, so Hayward is totally monologuing as a villain, and he's also keeping shit from everybody, so he can actually see inside the protective dome, if you will. He knows where everyone is. He actually knows where Vision is because he's looking at the decay rate of vibranium, which is what Vision is made out of, and he's tracking him and all the people that are around Vision. So he obviously has that, and also Monica. Her DNA has been changed by going through in and out twice out of the dome. And she goes back. Darcy basically warns, if you go back in, we don't know what the fuck's going to happen to you. And Monica is dead set on meeting whoever this person is over the ridge that has her equipment so she can enter back into the anomaly. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be somebody from the MCU. And there are speculations that it might be Reed Richards on this one, which is a way of bringing the Fantastic Four into this without bringing in the Fantastic Four in a movie and all of that. Because Reed Richards, being an astrophysicist, an engineer, all that kind of stuff, he built his own shit, for God's sake. And someone who would be familiar with cosmic radiation, which is what they're dealing with here. So, yeah. Yes, Mufinobi, he did pull the dead mother card, which is a big dick move on that one. Yeah. And so, of course, Monica, Wu, and Darcy end up not leaving the base. They knock out the agents that are taking them off the base and, find out all this information. But as Vision is outside the dome and he starts disintegrating, well, one, we find out that Tommy ends up having speed powers, the boy, and then Billy ends up having he can hear his dad basically psychically, I guess it is, and knows that he's in pain and actually tells Wanda about this. And Wanda ends up finally freezing everybody in place, and she starts expanding the dome rapidly. So obviously she is getting a boost at this point and is, expanding the dome out. And Darcy, who ends up getting captured by S.w.o.r.d. and handcuffed to the front of a Jeep, and the guy runs away as the dome is expanding towards her. And she's like, really? Seriously? And just when you think she's going to say, oh, fuck, as the anomaly is heading towards her, as soon as it hits her, it changes that fuck into a fudge. Oh, fudge is what she says. Because, of course, on sitcoms, you can't swear, which I thought was pretty funny. And they're turned into, all the S.w.o.r.d people are turned into circus clowns and basically circus stuff. Yeah. And yes, you could see the hexagonal shapes, or the hex powers as they're calling them. Yeah. And that's pretty much where we left off on this episode. And there's a lot of shit happening. There really is. And by the way, I just want to go back and talk about Billy and Tommy for a minute. So Billy and Tommy, the Young Avengers versions of them, Billy becomes Wiccan, who has, and by the way, Billy was able to stop Tommy from running. If you saw, he had blue hex powers. His hand glowed blue as he stopped Tommy from running fast. That's another manifestation of power. So he was able to manipulate the world around him, I guess you could say, kind of like his mother does, and also had the psychic abilities as well. Whereas Tommy had the speed abilities like his uncle, Pietro. And of course, these are they're also wearing the costumes that their Young Avengers counterparts actually wear, even though they were homemade versions of them. So that was the whole thing. That was kind of interesting on that. I wasn't expecting that, quite honestly. So in the Young Avengers, basically Billy and Tommy, Billy Kaplan and Tommy Shepard. Yes, I did take notes on that one. Are actually reincarnations of Wanda's kids, and they are not physically Wanda's kids. They are spiritually Wanda's kids because they're reincarnated. So it's kind of interesting that they're using that in this series as well. There's a lot of comic lore that's mixed in, a lot of movie lore that's mixed in. There's a lot of stuff happening within just this half hour episode alone that yeah, it's amazing TV. And the fact that people are bitching about it coming out weekly instead of being able to digest it, you have to actually digest one of these episodes. You need an entire week to do it. You really do. There's no way you can actually do this in a binge sitting. There's no way, and get all the nuances out of it. I mean, that commercial alone, the nuances out of it. And by the way, it's number 6 in the Nielsen ratings right now. Well, actually, I should say episode 3 is number 6 in the Nielsen ratings right now. They haven't gotten up to, episodes 4 and 5 yet, counting on that. So maybe Disney Plus is doing something right. Huh? Maybe. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on there. And I still, that whole thing with the shark saying that he was, the way he's been surviving is snacking on yo magic, which I mean, that you can't say it more plainly than that. That whatever this thing is that's got a hold of Wanda is becoming more powerful as it's absorbing more people, I think, and creating more havoc. And also, Pietro, by the way, is more aware of what's going on around him as well. When he says, "Where did all these children come from? You've been keeping them asleep all this time." And he goes, "I like the way you kept all the couples from the real world together in this world," is what he says. So yeah, it's been very, very interesting, at this point. Hey, Carl, thanks. Yes, it's almost 1,000 subscribers. I know, almost there. Viking Bitch says, "I wish they were an hour long, but once a week is okay." Yeah, yeah. I'm okay with the half hour sitcom kind of episode stuff. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff packed in here. A lot of stuff packed in there. Yeah, I don't think Disney Plus is any danger of being canceled. As a matter of fact, there's another thing I just read that said that they were very quickly overtaking Netflix at this point. Yeah. 1,000 dread it? Why? Why would I dread it? No, the only thing I dread about is, I got to put together those tiers. That's yeah, yeah. No, I've got plans in the works. I've got some plans of stuff in the works. That's just a hint of one of the things, that I'm planning. Yeah. Um, what else do we got here? What else are people saying? Darcy getting absorbed. I wasn't expecting that. Yeah, that was kind of a shocker, but it was still funny at the same time. And I'm wondering who she's going to be at this point. Um, I'm trying to think. Mufino says the zombie people, tears, definitely in pain. Also, that someone can't control everything. So many are in idle limbo. Yeah, there are people. Like I said, these people are frozen as Vision is going further and further out to Ellis Street, and man. So yeah, and also I just want to give a recognition to Darcy. You almost got murdered by your own murder squad, which I thought was fucking funny. That was, says the guy who almost got murdered by his own murder squad. I mean, dude, he keeps pushing her. He's like, I'm wondering if Hayward is actually the big bad that we've been seeing. He's just disguising himself and he's just pushing her buttons, of all these things. And it'll be interesting to see who he ends up being, or who the big bad is. I mean, we know that Doctor Strange is popping up here sooner or later. It's a badly held secret at this point. We know that Wanda is going to be in the Doctor Strange movie, and vice versa. Doctor Strange is supposed to be in this series, so we know he's going to pop up at some point, and we just don't know when. Mufino says, "Do you work for me?" Honestly, I don't know. Yeah, yeah, that whole thing. Do you work for me? Honestly, I don't know. Is what she says. Yeah, that was pretty funny. Uh Yeah, and it would make sense if Nightmare is the main bad guy, because Nightmare is the first villain that Doctor Strange squared off against in the comics. There you go. His first appearance, I believe, is around there. Um, yeah, and also, I mean, well, it's not Nightmare, excuse me. Nightmare is the horse. Nightmare is the horse that he rides on. Shit, now I'm blanking on him, but he basically creates nightmares. Oh man, I'm gonna have to look it up. All of a sudden, my comic book encyclopedia has gone away. Yeah, but yeah, he is the guy that makes nightmares. Shit. Oh well. I'll think about it and get back to you guys. I'll probably post it in the comment section once I remember what it is. That's how it's been lately. Penn Farm Girl says Cumberbatch is going to be on this show and Hiddleston on Loki. Best channel ever. All I need is David Tennant cameo. If you want David Tennant, by the way, Penn, he does the voice for a animated character on HBO Max, the HBO Max series Genlock, which I've been watching, which is good. You lost it on the move. Yeah, I lost it in the move. It wasn't delivered along with lots of stuff. No, I got all my stuff, but oh, never mind. What else do I have going on this week? How's the new apartment? No, I have soundproof apartments, and there are devil children here, but all I do is close the door and I don't hear shit. Yeah. What else do I have going on this week? Tomorrow is going to be Saturday morning blast off, or take the genre news of the week and any other genre stuff you guys want to talk about when we talk about it. Sunday and Monday, I'm going to be off. Tuesday will be another episode of Is It Worth My Time? And this time around, it's going to be the Selma Hayek, Owen Wilson movie Bliss that's on Amazon. Thursday, I'm going to be off on Wednesday. Thursday is going to be Resident Alien. I was thinking about doing it on Wednesday, but I think I'm just going to do it on Thursday. This is what's going to happen. And Friday, we wrap back around again to WandaVision, the ever excellent WandaVision. Yeah. Moving over says Penn is a Cumberbatch tenant. As a Cumberbatch. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, it'd be interesting having the Purple Man come back. Oh, that would be actually kind of cool having the Purple Man in cahoots with whoever is feasting off of Wanda's powers. That would actually make some sense. Huh? Since Purple Man can control people against their will. I didn't even think about that. You know, he is in the MCU. That would be an interesting turn. I mean, there's a lot of people, a lot of villains in the MCU that do mind control. There's Mastermind as well. Yeah, there's. Popeye says, "Do you think Herb dressed as Frankenstein has any significance?" No, no, I don't think so. That I think I might be reading too much into it, but again, there's a lot of stuff here we don't know. Again, Agnes, we don't know if she's actually in on this or not, if she's actually, Agatha Harkness. She could still be Agatha Harkness, but also be trapped in this as well. She could be the mystery witness that we still don't have no idea who that is, that Wu was looking on. She could be that person, and we also don't know if mutants are a thing or not. I mean, now with Pietro being, you know, recast, I guess you could say, are we now going to say that Wanda's powers were unlocked? They were always there, but they were just unlocked by Strucker by using the gem, or were they given to her? Are we rewriting this portion now and saying that mutant genes have always been there? Or are they just coming into existence because of what Wanda's doing? We don't know. And that's what's interesting. So the whole thing came about. The reason why they couldn't use the word mutant in the MCU was because Fox owned it for the X-Men. And now that Disney owns Fox, they can use mutants, X-Men, whatever they want, because it's now folded into the MCU. So this is why they could say it's always been there and it's just never been mentioned, or it's never been looked at, or never been, uttered, I guess you could say at that point. Um, or you can just say, hey, it's actually something that's going to be new, that is going to be brought into being because of what Wanda's doing here. We don't know. Viking Mitch says apparently there's a dating site called Data Brit. You gotta get pen on that. Interesting. Movie Fanobi says, well, Herb's awareness, do you want me to change anything, was like Agnes in the last episode. I wonder if it's a conduit to the real. It could be. It could very well be. Yeah. It could also be that whatever this thing is that's controlling Wanda is a shapeshifter, or not even a shapeshifter, can just basically take on the form of something, or make them see it as whatever they want. And so it takes on Agnes's persona, or it takes on Herb's persona, or so on and so forth. Yeah. And the fact that Wanda has no control over Vision, it just shows you she's not in control of what's going on. Vision is dead. So she should be working him like a puppet and making him do whatever he wants. He even says at the beginning, he goes, I looked in the closet and this was all that was there. It was the costume that he had on. And so you see that he is forced to do some things, but he is in control of other things as well. There you go. So there's a lot of interesting things that are happening in this series. And yes, we don't have any answers. We have a lot of questions, but we haven't had any answers. Excuse me. And I'm liking this. This is actually a good mystery at this point. This is not a mystery box where it's like, you're setting up the mystery as the mystery, and it's yeah, that's dumb. Just like J.J. Abrams. Yeah. So yeah, I'm looking forward to see what happens next week, because we only have 9 episodes. That means we only have 3 episodes left. That's it, just 3. And after that, we go to actually 6-episode series of Falcon and Winter Soldier. That's where we go after that. It's actually a week break, and then right into Falcon and Winter Soldier. Yeah. Movie says, I'm happy Vision is aware he died, but he doesn't remember. Yeah, he doesn't remember anything before Westview. And he doesn't remember dying either, though, which is good because he died twice. I mean, once when Wanda busted the mind gem and killed him so Thanos couldn't get it. And then again when Thanos rewound time so that he could rip the mind gem out of Vision's head. So yeah, he died twice, which was a fucking shitty thing. Movie Finale says, I keep reminding myself Shuri was working on separation from the Mind Stone, but how complete was it? She was, yeah, we don't know for sure how complete that was. I've always had that speculation as well that maybe she was further along than we knew and just needed maybe a couple more minutes. Maybe she needed a couple more hours. We don't know. But yeah. Like I said, lots of questions, lots and lots of questions. But I'm digging this series. I really am. And also it's just Marvel. It's pulling Marvel stuff out of the, out of the realm of out of the hat of possibilities here. And that's and out of the comics as well, which is great. Some good stuff. Mufino says, didn't read them, but didn't he come back to life in West Coast? Yeah, he did. He and so Wonder Man is also a I guess you could say a cousin to Vision in a way. He was also created by Ultron. And same thing, Wonder Man has died and come back. Same thing as Vision has died and come back. But yes, they are cousins. And initially in the comics, Vision was created by Ultron, but had a different view of humanity than Ultron did. Yeah. So good stuff. All right. Well, I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you to everybody who joined me today in the chat, and thank you if you watched this far in the video. Popeye Pliskin says here, Nathan Fillion, yes, he was he was supposed to be Wonder Man in the movie posters for Guardians of the Galaxy 2, but they cut that scene out. Popeye, yeah, they had the whole marquee made up. I saw pictures of it. I was laughing my ass off because he would have made an excellent Wonder Man. But yeah. Carl says, are you going to cover the Carano controversy? I'll talk about it tomorrow a little bit, Carl, but I'm not going to delve into it. It's not really a controversy. It's just, say stupid shit, win stupid prizes is what it is. So, yeah. All right, everybody. With that said, I'm gonna let you guys go for the night. Thank you to everybody who joined me tonight in the chat, and thank you if you made it this far in the video. I will see you again tomorrow for Saturday morning blast off. Until then, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may find out that you're in a town that's being held hostage by a witch and who's really not under control because she's being held hostage by something that's eating her magic, and you really don't want that to happen. Thanks, everybody. I will see you again tomorrow. Until then, stay safe, be well, take care, and wear those masks. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.